I never imagined my marriage would reach a place where a single joke could shatter everything. But that's exactly how it happened. One evening at dinner, my wife tossed out a comment she thought was witty. With a laugh, she said, "Maybe you should try my sister if you're that unhappy." She grinned as she said it, tapping her fork against her plate. To her, it was throwaway sarcasm. To me, it was the spark that ignited everything I'd been suppressing for years. Let me explain. We'd been married for 8 years. In the beginning, things were amazing. She was lively, sharp, full of warmth, and I genuinely felt lucky to have her. But over time, something in her cooled. She pulled away. Intimacy disappeared. Conversations turned into constant tension, and the sense of partnership we once had faded into silence. I tried date nights, thoughtful gestures, honest talks, but nothing ever broke through the wall she'd built. She acted like she didn't want me anymore, and she made sure I felt that every day. And here's where her joke became her downfall. Her sister, let's call her Emily, was everything my wife had stopped being. Kind, attentive, someone who actually listened. At family events, she was always the one checking in, asking about my work, noticing when I seemed off. She offered genuine smiles, not forced ones. I'd always kept the attraction buried out of respect, pushed it deep down so it wouldn't become something it shouldn't. But the night my wife made that joke, something inside me cracked. A week later, she went out with her friends, leaving me home like usual. Emily showed up to drop something off for her. We talked, the way we always did, except this time the air between us felt charged. Maybe it was me. Maybe it was the way she looked at me when I told her, half joking, what her sister had said. She told me I should try you instead. Emily froze, then gave a soft, nervous laugh, but I saw the flush rise on her cheeks. That was the moment I knew the joke wasn't going to stay a joke. Weeks passed. Emily and I began texting. It started harmless, little check-ins, silly memes, but it slowly drifted into deeper territory. Late-night conversations about loneliness, feeling unseen, feeling drained. It felt like someone had finally discovered the locked room I'd been sitting in for years. She became a kind of emotional water source I hadn't realized I was desperate for. The first time we crossed the line happened so easily it scared me. At a family cookout, we both had a bit too much to drink. We lingered close, fingers brushing, neither of us pulling away. Later that night, she found me alone outside, away from everyone. She whispered, "This is wrong." And I answered, "So is what your sister's been doing to me for years." That was it. One kiss. Then another. And after that, everything broke open. We didn't stop. We couldn't. Emily became my escape from the cold, empty house I lived in. She listened. She cared. She offered everything my wife had withheld. It wasn't just the physical connection. It was the feeling of being seen, valued, wanted again. She reminded me I was still a person worth loving. But secrets never stay buried. My wife discovered everything in the harshest way possible. One night she grabbed Emily's iPad to check an email, and instead stumbled onto messages, dozens of them, screenshots, late-night confessions, plans to meet. Every message cut deep. She stormed into our bedroom at midnight and hurled the iPad at me. Her face was twisted with rage and pain. "You actually did it?" she shouted. "You slept with my sister?" I didn't deny it. I didn't even try. I just said, "You told me to." That sentence hurt her more than the betrayal itself. She realized her own words had opened the door. Her sarcasm planted the seed, and I'd let it grow into something she never expected. Everything collapsed after that. She severed all ties with Emily, blocked her, refused to speak her name. Family gatherings became battlegrounds. Her parents were horrified, caught between two daughters who had destroyed each other. And I became the villain in every version of the story she told, the man who obliterated his marriage and crossed an unforgivable line. But here's the truth, I didn't regret it. Not once. For the first time in years, I felt alive. I felt like I mattered. Emily returned parts of me I thought I'd lost permanently. She made me feel human again. My wife filed for divorce within months. She tried to paint me as the monster, but deep down she knew she'd pushed me to the edge and then dared me to jump. She mocked me, shut me out, treated me like a ghost for years, and then handed me the opening in a single sarcastic remark. "Try my sister," she said. So I did. And yes, it burned every bridge. Yes, it left damage scattered across two families. But sometimes revenge isn't loud or planned. Sometimes it's simply letting someone's own words turn into the thing they fear most. My wife thought she was untouchable, that I would keep swallowing her indifference forever. But the moment I chose Emily, she finally understood that actions have consequences. So yes, my marriage went up in flames. Yes, people whisper about me. But I stopped being invisible. And if I had to do it again, I would. Because sometimes the harshest justice isn't something you create, it's something you allow to happen when someone dares you to strike the match.